What is up guys, KharmaMedic here, and today, as you guys can see, I'm in a different place. I'm in an apartment in Toronto. This is where I'm staying while I'm here. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about the kinds of foods that you can cook at university, because I know as students, we're either not bothered to cook or we're too busy and we feel like we don't have time. Over my 4 years at university, I feel like I've mastered how to cook quickly, efficiently, make little mess, and be able to meal prep high protein and highly nutritious meals throughout the week. So preparing your meals is actually a lot easier than a lot of people think it is. You can do it in about an hour, max an hour and 15-20 minutes one day on the weekend, and you'll have 5 meals ready for the rest of the week. So the different meals that I'm going to be showing you guys throughout this series of videos is not going to be anything like plain pasta or anything simple like that. It's going to be really big and nutritious meals that will be something that you're looking forward to eating. So the two things that I focus on when I'm cooking my university meals is that it needs to be very fast and efficient. I don't want to waste time cooking because I'm sure as you do, we have plenty of other things to do in our day. And so the cooking that I do also involves keeping the utensils and the plates and everything like that to a bare minimum so that there's less cleaning up to do afterwards. And the second thing is I don't focus on making my meals look any good. I don't focus on making them the perfect dish or the perfect looking dish. It just needs to be food that I can consume after the gym when I get home. So all the meals that I cook are very, very simple. They contain a meat, a carbohydrate, and a lot of vegetables. And that way I always feel like I'm eating a balanced meal and I can vary the types of meals that I'm having. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump to the kitchen and let's get cooking. So first things first, we've got 3 of these round strip stir-fried beef. And the reason I have 3 is because I go to the gym every other day. I run at least once or twice a week. I play basketball as well. And so all of my meals need to be super, super high in protein. Next are the vegetables, and I've tried to keep it as simple as possible for this one. We just have 2 bell peppers over here, a bunch of bean sprouts. I don't know if you guys use this, but this is like one of my favorite vegetables cooked because the texture is just so good and crunchy. Then I have 1 jalapeno pepper, just because I like a little bit of spice, and we have carrots too. And then the main grain that we're gonna base this meal around is quinoa. Generally, most of the time, it's gonna be most efficient to prep all of the veg, so cut up and clean all the vegetables that you need to do. Then you work on the meat. Once the meat is done, you add the vegetables. Once the vegetables are done, you add the quinoa and the water. So let's get started by first cutting up some vegetables. Totally forgot to add 2 different vegetables to the mix, and that is bok choy that I mentioned before and also green onions. So I'm gonna cut those up now and add them to the bowl. Alright, so now that we're done cutting up all the vegetables, we're going to move on to seasoning the meat before we start cooking it. And usually when I season meat, all I do is throw in some salt and some pepper and that's it, because personally I don't care. But I know a lot of people really enjoy seasoning, and so I brought over my good friend Arslan. He's going to take care of the seasoning of the meat. Now we're going to start cooking in the pan. The first thing you're going to need to do is cook the meat. Once the meat is done till about, I'd say 60-70%, I add on the vegetables so that while the vegetables are cooking, we don't overcook the meat. And then after that, we'll add on the quinoa. Place down some olive oil, and I usually put it to about a medium height, but we see how the cook is going on with time and we can adjust everything as we go along. Alright, so now that the oil has warmed up a decent amount, I'm going to add on the meat. And really what you want to do is like leave it here for, I'd say about 7 to 10 minutes, something like that, mixing it about every now and again to make sure that it's even on all the different sides. I don't really do things based on time. It's just sort of like gauging it as I go along. Here's the meat. We're going to make sure that it's covered in a decent amount of oil, and as it heats up here, it's going to start to cook quite nicely. And now we can do a time lapse of that. So now if you guys take a look, you can see that the meat is at least 70% cooked, something like that. So it's almost there. And because there's still all of this meat juice here, I want to use that to help flavor the vegetables as well. So I'm going to start adding all the veg in. And this simply could not be any easier. I'm literally going to throw the vegetables down onto the food. I'm going to keep all these big leafy objects to the side. What you want to make sure is that you get the smaller vegetables down to the bottom so that they can cook. and then leave the bigger vegetables up on top. And you might be thinking this looks like an absolute mess and how in the hell is this going to turn into a decent meal? But a lot of this shrinks in size as you cook it, and everything becomes a lot smaller given a little bit of heat. So as you guys will see, this will become a lot more manageable in just a little bit of time. Alright guys, so now all of the vegetable volume has gone down. Let's take this piece of carrot. That is hot. That is really hot. I'm gonna wait a little bit more and then we'll add the quinoa. The vegetables cooked, the meat is cooked, and now what we're gonna do is add the grain. And so how I do this is also very, very easy. I literally just throw the couscous or the quinoa or the rice, whatever it is you're cooking with this meal, on top of the food. And I'm gonna use 2 packets because I wanna make a lot of food to last me throughout the week. And now you just add a bunch of boiled water. And you want to add a decent amount of water. You might have to add water again if the quinoa is not fully cooked and it's reaching the point where the water is disappearing. But basically, that's it. You leave this on a light simmer. So you don't want to see that the water is boiling very strongly. You want to just have it bubbling a little bit. So the meal, a little bit less of a boil than that. But anyway, it's just going to stay like that for about now 10-15 minutes and the meal will be finished. So we'll catch up then. Alright, so now that the food's done cooking, we can do what is basically the easiest and best part, which is package it into different Tupperwares that you can easily have throughout the week. So a meal like this would usually take me about an hour to cook. That might sound like I'm exaggerating or something, but honestly not at all. I just put on a YouTube video to watch in the background, and I just burst through this, cutting up everything really quickly, putting everything on the stove, and it can honestly be done in an hour. Alright, so Arslan is gonna have the official taste test now. He's gonna let you guys know if this food is actually good or if I'm just chatting this whole time and I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, let's see what it tastes like. Give your honest opinion.
Like off camera? Very average. No, I'm kidding. It's actually pretty good. And it's very nutrient dense, which is what you need as a student.
Has a lot of protein too, and it's healthy, etc, etc. So yeah. Alright, so that is it guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you can actually follow along with me cooking and everything. If you guys found this useful, definitely let me know in a comment down below. And I have plenty of other meals to show you guys, all kinds of different things to show you guys how to cook. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, leave a like on this video and also leave a comment down below. Anyways, that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you in the next one. Peace!